Here in the UK, we have over 270 species of different bees separated into 3 groups. Solitary bees, of which there are more than 250 wild species. Bumblebees, of which there are 24 species, tend to be larger, more easily identified by the colour on their tail. And we have the honeybee, the only domestic species managed and kept by beekeepers with that distinctive striped thorax, are the only ones that make honey. Bees, as small winged invertebrates, actually have an amazing ability to beat their wings 11,400 times a minute. Just listen to that. Bees see blue best on the colour spectrum. They are more attracted to flowers such as lavender, campanulas, and the hebe, which is normally covered in lots of purple flowers. They are completely blind to the colour red. Bees have smelly feet. Well, actually, they secrete an oily substance, which then tells other bees that the pollen and nectar has already been removed, so that they should go elsewhere and look for food. They pollinate 35% of the world's crops, and without them, having to pollinate everything by hand would be very costly and time-consuming. Since the 1930s, we have lost 97% of all wildflower meadows, which are prime pollinator habitat for bees. Anthropogenic factors such as pollution, urbanization, habitat loss, and chemical pesticides, which have long been used in agricultural farming practices in order to control crop damage from insects and to maximize yields, are driving bee numbers down. Spraying these chemical cocktails don't just kill off the targeted insect pests, they affect every species that comes into contact with them. And environmentally, testing has shown that these chemicals leach into plants, the surrounding soil, and into waterways. Scientific studies clearly correlate that pesticides and insecticides such as neonicotinoids are particularly detrimental to bees, causing devastating effects, including neurological disruption, reduced sensitivity to taste, flight disorientation, leading to exhaustion, and ultimately their demise. Organic alternatives or companion planting are possible. However, intensive food production requires systematic change. The Wildlife Trust set up a petition to ask our government to reverse their decision over the use of neonicotinoids. Recent cold weather halted use temporarily, but with 1 in 10 wild bee species facing extinction, we must fight for their survival. You can sign the petition at action.wildlifetrust.org and say no to neonicotinoids.